Triple D's or
Daddy-daughter discussion. I'm Tyron.
I'm Giselle. And
I guess for the second time.
Yeah.
You know, we started off a good flow
some
and then
some
technical difficulties. So
let's start over. How was your week?
It was pretty good. I was in Mississippi. Enjoyed some time with the family. Actually going back this week again for a party. Mm-hmm. But I went to Mississippi because I wanted to. Cornel West was going to make an appearance at the Emmett Till Memorial. Mm. So it was really good. They showed the Till movie again, and then they had the actor and other activists and the producer or the person that produced the movie there. So it was really, really good. And I enjoy. Cornel West didn't talk, but I got a chance to talk.
That's all the pictures. Yeah. It's already hanging on your wall.
Whatever. So what about you? How was your week?
It wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst. It's like in my art class, mm-hmm. we're finally starting on our projects, and I've been working on this Western project, mm-hmm. and it's not doing anything for me. Like, I'm thinking of, like, should I just, like, drop it? Then I'm like, no, don't drop it. It's like that, should I give up on something I worked so hard towards all summer? Or should I just, like...
So, what was the reason that you're doing it? Were you trying to do it because Adi did it? What?
No, it was like, people say, you should really do this. You could earn money if you do it. So I'm like, why not?
Okay.
Then it's I had no, like, personal passion for it. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'm not going to put all my self-forward or energy on this.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's already taking a lot of energy. Yeah. And it's like, I want to start on my real AP. It's like the poems I showed you. I'm passionate about that. Thinking about it makes me smile because I'm happy to, I want to do that. Mm-hmm. Then it's like, I got this Western, it's obligation, I should.
See that, and I think that's what makes an assignment difficult. Yeah. When you feel so obligated. I would suggest, maybe you should start studying up on some history and trying to find a connection. Like when you're just looking at pictures and you're looking like, I told you to know your history, erase the mystery. And it connects. And Adi's finding that out in school now. She was she finding that. So maybe, I'm not talking about in-depth studies like your dad does, but it doesn't even have to be an African-American cowboy or anything. Just it can be something spiritual connected to the West. So you can find that passion. Because it sounds like you're kind of tweeting. Like you want to stop, but at the same time you don't. So
it's like what I created was beautiful. Mm-hmm. But then I felt like I needed to do more. But then I'm like, did I ruin it? Oh my God, did I ruin it? Mm-hmm. So it's like, just I don't want to stop. But then it's like, it could be so beautiful, but then...
Well, you might be overthinking it.
I probably am.
Simplicity is always good. You know your dad. Sometimes people always say, "Man, you're so smart." And then I say simple things. It's not really as complicated as we try to make it. There are things that can be complicated in life, but I would say 9% of the things are not. We truly make things hard. So just think about it. I'm not going to tell you which way to go. Me, I'm not going to tell you. I don't think you're a quitter if you stop. You always got to understand your why. Why you started doing it and why if you decide to stop, why you decide to stop. And then you make a decision from there. Cool?
Cool.
So our audience has witnessed a little bit of me being me as your dad and you being your daughter. So, and we don't really have any topic. I just really wanted to talk, just to kind of give our audience a taste of us. They always have a taste of us, but I don't think they realize how organic our relationship is. And organic, not organic, I know that word can be overused. So authentic, genuine, and I think every father-daughter, parent relationship is authentic. But I'm looking at it from the perspective of my personal growth. So that's why I wanted to just kind of chop it up, So what's on your mind? Want to talk about the 5G, 2G?
You know what? Yeah. Let's bring this argument back. You say you're a 5G.
So first of all, we got to get an audience, construct. So we was talking about vibrations and how we vibrate in terms of our mind and connection, and if you was to do it from a 6G is the highest perspective, right? Mm-hmm. I told my daughter she's a 2G.
Yeah.
And I told her I'm a solid 5, right? And I'm gonna tell them why I measure. I measure you. It's hard, and you have to look at the things that block you. Diet is one. How connected are you to your environment? Environment is not just in a home under a blanket. It's like everywhere, right?
It felt like a personal.
And that was very personal. That was very personal. So when I measured you on the 2, like I'm measuring, like I know you are connected, but you limit yourself so much. Mm. And anytime a person place limitations on themselves, they can't vibrate on a highest frequency. So, and that's even with me. There are limits in my life that I didn't say I was a 6. In fact, you said I was a solid 4.5, 5. I wouldn't say I'm not, because I know I have limitations. Mm. So, what's your thoughts?
I have to disagree when you talked about my limitations, because my perspective is you can't see all my limitations or like how I push it. Mm-hmm. So it's like I feel like I'm a solid 3. I'm not a flip phone. I'm an iPhone.
So, what are the limitations you think I'm referring to?
Diet was heavily targeted today.
Diet, yeah. You don't think that's a limitation?
I think that's a limitation, but to me, it's not my biggest limitation.
You are measuring it yourself. Mm-hmm. I said limitation. I didn't say that this is your biggest. And to me, and just me personally, if I got a block in the road, if it limits me to do something, it doesn't. You can measure how much it limits to yourself. It's a limit. To
me, diet is like a speed bump. I'll slow down a bit, but I'm still gonna get over it.
You know, we can digress into this. My personal opinion is not, and I say that because the things we consume, if we want to look at it in a holistic perspective, in a circular motion, our food, I'm body, mind, and soul, right? And if our body is disconjointed, meaning we're not putting the right things in, we're not getting outside, we're not like really enjoying what the Creator has given to us, I believe, at least for me, I can speak for me, I know for me, it's hard for me to connect with my environment and looking at squirrels and looking at animals and just really appreciating them. Like, do you ever wonder why I don't like killing bugs? I'm not like this guy that just don't want to, like, I really feel sad when I see, an animal or something, because I know they have a purpose. All right? I'm not saying I'm vibrating on such a high frequency. That might be weird, but I believe, I don't know, for everybody, I can't speak for everybody, that's why I say I believe, that I think that's how we're supposed to be.
I have to say, I don't think it's like just what you're putting in your body. I think it's like you always need to know your why. It's like for me, if I eat a cookie, I'm not going to say it's because I crave it, I can't help it. I know why I'm eating the cookie. The sugar in there makes my brain go crazy, and I love it. Like, at least know why you're putting something in your body, because then that, like, there's still a limit there, because, like, you're obviously still putting it in your body, but it's like a purpose. So there's always a purpose.
Going back to the question I asked you when I was driving back, is knowing and doing the same as not knowing, right? Mm-hmm. And, well, you said, when we was talking,
well, I think it's like all things in life. There's similarities, but there's differences.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're both like ignorance, but like the knowing and still doing.
And not doing.
Oh, then never mind.
Yeah.
Because like for me, it's knowing and still doing it.
No. If you know, no. So you know that eating this cookie will block certain synapses in your brain, right? But you still eat it, knowing that it's going to do so. It to me is I think you and I was talking about. You got ignorance, both are ignorance, but you got the woefully ignorance, and I'm the audience. I am a cookie monster, so I will be the first. So I'm ignorant in that aspect.
But is it like to get to that higher frequency? Do you also like? It's not sustained. Like hold yourself back from pleasures in life, because I feel like holding yourself back from pleasure, or like indulging too much in pleasure is its own limitation. So it's like I think like a lot of these things, it's what you're eating, but also how much you're eating. Going back to like that analogy, kind of.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and I think it's a personal thing. So there are certain things that you guys know I don't eat. Or say Sunday, everybody watch football, right? And I'm on this protest ever since Calvin Kaepernick. I've been on it so long that it's not a pleasure anymore, right? So I'm not really restricting myself because it's not a pleasure. You see what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying, but I guess you're looking at it as now that is a pleasure. But once you start pulling back and dialing back, will it still be a pleasure?
Well, that's just like the goings of time. You watched football then because you enjoyed it and it gave you some pleasure. But then you found out your why. Why am I watching this? Why do I enjoy it? Why do I continue to watch this when something happens that I don't agree with? You found your why, so you stopped. And you realized, is my why less than my pleasure? And you had to balance that, and you realized your why is...
Absolutely.
So it's like, your why, does it match your pleasure? Is it less? Is it more? And you need to find out, is that good for you?
Absolutely. That's good. So, and that's why I'm big on, like, when I conversate with people and we're talking, it's two things I always say. You probably won't say it, but I was like, what does that look like to you? Like, when you're talking, I always say, what does that look like to you? Because I think it's when you can define what something is for you, and then it's easier for you to navigate in your why. What we tend to do is we don't realize how we are influenced. Like I said, because I'm the same way, influenced by social norms.
No, of course.
That has created our whys for us.
I think it's like I think I've written this in like every STAR essay I've done. Humans are social creatures.
Absolutely.
We want to like fit in to maybe a certain degree depending on your prerogative. So I think like social norms is just like, well, it's group norms, and you want to be with the group. You want to fit in with the group.
Thinks, yeah.
So it's like, like groupthink is I should enjoy some foods that are maybe not as healthy for me or too healthy, i.e. kale. I hate kale. So it's like...
And with that thought, it's almost like, for me, a limitation for me is anytime I look at and I'm defining my why and it's being dictated by a groupthink. I want to define it for me. Even if I say, if everybody in the world eating kale because it's healthy, am I doing this because they're doing it? It got benefit, but is this me? Because I can't enjoy it.
I think it's like, we've always had like a power struggle. Like, I'm in government, so I'm going to connect it to that. In government, we're learning. Federalism, like the federal government and the state government are always at a tug of war.
Absolutely.
So I think that's kind of like our social like groupism and individualism. It's how much for the group and how much for the individual. And it's like that balance changes over time, and it's you got to like figure it out for yourself at some point, that you have to realize that you matter more than the group, or the group matters more than you. I don't know.
No, and you're right. And when you look at it from a governmental, right? Mm-hmm. The problem with the federal and state is even that they're not taking the collective of the people.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
even in government, we learn it's flawed.
It's so flawed.
It's confusing.
Yeah. So if the federal took a consensus and asked we will kind of have our differences, but for the most part, we'll be on the same glide path. I would say if you got 10 people, 8 out of the 10, and it's just my opinion. I don't have any. I don't have theories or anything to prove it. It's just I'm just thinking out loud. I would want to say that we would, even though we steeped into this capitalist system. I think we'll go better. We'll look for the people. Like we'll be aligned to helping people instead of like if we truly knew like the whys of the government is doing certain things. We were like, that's not right. That's not right.
You know the funny thing, as you're saying this was, man, school is on point sometimes. Because in my English class, we're learning Locke vs. I'm forgetting his last name. I'm so sorry, but I know it starts with an R. Mm-hmm. It's like their theories. Locke believed government is needed to control people.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, because people.
He wrote the economic.
People are inherently bad and greedy. Mm-hmm. Well, the other guy, they were like, people are inherently good, and it's the government or like capitalism that kind of contort their learnings. And I kind of agree. Like everybody's innocent when they're born, and it's just like what they learn and what they like learn is good. Yeah, and it goes back to like, how do you define what's good and bad? It depends on.
It depends on that person's their background. Mm-hmm. Even me as your father, there are things inherently that I have defined as bad, right? And as you got older, it worked for you, and you or your sisters forced me like, well, Daddy, why is that bad? And it made me think, and I had to question like, oh, I got this bad because this is what I grew up. I had never had a thought on why it was bad. Mm-hmm. So you're right. I do know there are universals, good and bad. Universal bad. I think it's an agreement to say killing people is wrong. But we go to war, and because they justified it, doesn't mean
it's like self-defense. Like you're still hurting someone, but it's self-defense.
Yeah, but like I said, it's universal. So is it justified? What we'll do is it's justifiable.
Yeah, you're trying to find a reason. Like it's okay in this situation, but not in this situation. Mm-hmm. It's a bit different.
Mm-hmm. That's why when I was my last maybe 6 years in, I started really going to different combat zones and war zones, and I was conflicted because there's nothing that this country can tell me that what we were doing was right. And I was affected by it at the end by a biological thing that hit me that I said on these airs. I know the United States, they want to say it was the other country, but it was us. So, and although that's just something I'm living with, I have to live with, but I was definitely my last 6 years in like, man, this is right. This is not right.
Yeah, then it goes back to like the groupism, the individualism. Mm-hmm. The military was hurting your body, your spirit, your soul in a way that was unforgivable, would you say? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it was like your why just no longer matches your reason for joining me.
Absolutely.
So it's like I need at some point, if the individual is not alive, then that's less of the group. So I need to preserve myself to keep this group strong.
Absolutely. And one thing during that time that you just said, and I say this, I love me. Mm-hmm. And for me to love me, even if it might hurt some aspects of what I deem is comfortable, right? I love me. And doing what I was doing was hurting me. Mm-hmm. So I had to get out, right? Even though I got out because I, got hurt. But it's still, now I'm still on these airways and I'm talking to people and unapologetically, hey, what we did was wrong and bad. You know, hey, they can have their personal opinion, and most people do, like that served in the military or just stooped into, I call it United States ideology, exceptionalism. We the best, we right, they wrong. You know, we go ahead.
I'm not from the United States. I'm from Texas. So Texas, everything's better. HEB here's everything better. Everything bigger in Texas.
Texas is probably the worst. Go ahead. Go ahead with your thought.
No, I just wanted to say that. For me, it's Texas. Everything bigger, everything better.
Now, if you're saying that Texas before the United States took over it, yes. But now,
we're basically the United States.
Yeah, you are. You know,
like, I think Texas is like, it has the most military bases out of all the states.
I don't know, but you might be right.
So it's like, if we go to war, Texas is going first. Everybody's going to attack Texas.
Probably. You know, and I think, honestly, I don't look at it anymore. This is going back to that high frequency, that vibration, that 6G. All right. When I'm in a state, it's not about bigger, better. Like now I will say I can't measure that. This is a feeling. Mm-hmm. Like you being in Texas, you probably this is where you just, not that it just feel home. You feel open. Awakening and all, but only in a couple states, but one of the biggest states is Mississippi. But when I'm in Costa Rica, when I'm in Africa, it seems like all cylinders are firing. They don't fire here.
In Texas, it's where I'm at, but it's not like my soul is like, this is not, it's like when I went to the Bahamas, it wasn't home, but it was closer too.
It connected.
When I went to Dominican Republic, it wasn't home, but it was closer. But I went to Puerto Rico. Oh, that felt like home. Uh-huh. I wanted to be in that jungle. If only bugs didn't exist, but I wanted to be there.
Even more so than Mississippi?
Mississippi. I go to Mississippi and I know. I breathe in the air of horse poop and cow pee, and I'm
you connected with your ancestors. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, not saying that the horse poop, but that's what I'm saying.
No, that's just how soil smells.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that is part of, so when I was saying the limitations, right? And that's why I know I'm limited here, because I'm not connected to this land. So I don't find pleasure.
Yeah.
And I can't find it's not soulful that I can just connect to the soil.
It's like when people say humans are like one of the only species that could survive anywhere. We could survive, but are we thriving? Like some people, they do better in colder climates. I know, I think my whole family, we would die in a cold climate. We belong in the humid, hot, warm, maybe
water.
Yeah. Like that's where we thrive. So it's like, yeah, we can survive, but like where do you thrive? Where is your your spirit, your body, where is it most connected? Where is it thriving?
Yeah.
And for me, it's just anything, trees. I smell that, the water in the air. Just thinking about it, I want to go back.
And that's what, what I'm talking about with thriving. That body, mind, and soul. And to me, that's part of that soul. The soul, to me, it encompasses a lot. But one of it is our personal experiences, and there are some things that we can't explain. I cannot explain when I'm in certain countries why I feel connected to it. I don't know. I just know when I'm in Texas, and I've been coming in and out of Texas since '94. I don't feel connected.
Yeah, even the animals. It's like birds are nice, but
I'm not connected.
I go to Mississippi, and when we were at Papa's, I sat out there for hours. I could just sit out there for hours. In Texas, it's not really a need. Yeah. But when I'm in Mississippi, I'm going to sit outside.
And that's what I'm talking about. And maybe moving me and you to Mississippi or Puerto Rico or Costa Rica, you might move from 2G to 4.
Maybe upgrade from a flip phone. I'm still insulted. You know what? At least I'm not a wall phone.
Well, we did decide that's better. It took Bella a while to even understand what we was talking about.
Wall phone. What is a wall phone?
But yeah, so like I said, I didn't want this podcast to be long. I just wanted us to really just give the audience a taste of just how it just flows. We can go talk about from the 6G or the plant, and then we're going into the photosynthesis of the plant.
Yeah.
You know, because it's connected. And a lot of that has to do with, one thing I will say about you three is, and this was by design, you know, by your mother and I did not want you guys to think linear. I want you guys to think circular. Because thinking circular, you can see the connections. Linear, you moving from this point and then you lose that.
Yeah, you miss it really.
Yeah, but when you think circular, I think that's closer to who we are as a people. And people, that doesn't mean ethnicity, African or black or Caucasian, white. What I mean as a people, I'm talking about humans. Like us as, like, I think we whatever ethnicity you are, I feel that's how we need to operate.
I think since I was like a little girl, like my one belief is we emulate everything else. Like there's nothing original that was created because it once existed and it was in the mind of something or someone.
Absolutely.
And that has continued like I forgot which one it was, but it's, if I could remember, I know like some of our body systems, our body organs kind of emulate like trees or certain bugs. Yeah. Like even airplanes was designed in inspiration from birds. Yeah. It was like nothing is original. It's just, it's existed before.
These are our bodies, you know, that's why I do like the movie Avatar, even though the second one wasn't that good. But when you look at it from that perspective and what you're talking about, we are encompassing this body, this avatar. And we're living out, in my opinion, the Creator's peculiar ways. I don't, you know me, the moment I see a gender on a God, that's something I don't even want to deal with. When I hear people say he or she, I don't want to deal with that. That's why I always say creator, right? That can be, you know, it's I don't want to define it. But I don't believe I know you're right. When you look at, that's why they are connected, body, mind, and soul. The things that we put in our body, like when you think of your lymphatic system, right? Your lymphatic system is identical to like the sewage plants. It cleans out. It cleans out your body. It cleans out stuff. So that's why it's good to, and if your lymphatic system is kind of clogged up or not good, you start having certain dis-ease, right?
I think you mean your excretory system?
No, your lymphatic.
That's what houses the white blood cells.
Well,
you know what? They're all connected, so it's
Well, don't go ahead. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's a lymphatic.
I've been taking anatomy and physiology, and I know all my systems. All.
And you might be right.
Yeah.
So the lymphatic system is, system or lymph node soldiers or organ system in Barbados is part of the immune system, a complementary circulatory system. It consists of, main function, maintains fluid levels in our body tissues by removing all fluids that leaks out. Yeah, so it's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I know what you've been doing, but I also know, you know, in our education system is very linear. So all of them do that, but what you're saying, but what you was about to say?
No. I will admit, like sometimes it's like they give you one definition, and you need a really good teacher to show you that they're all connected and like they all have similar functions. And so it's like you need a really good teacher to really teach you like it's all connected, baby.
Yeah. Well, that's why, as your father, and I think for all fathers that are listening to this, one of our major primary duty is to be a teacher. You know, I challenge you guys on your whys on why you do this and add this, and then I will try to explain it. It can be annoying, but I don't care. Yeah. That's what I feel like.
Like every time you do that, I remember you used to do that, and I was like, I wish I could create like an invention that like my mind. I have like a something that could just read my mind and like put it in words for me, or like so you just could see what I mean. So it's like I just want to just words to describe it. It's just like
and certain things you can't describe, but even that, I challenge you to be able to, because of being effective in communicating, and me as your father, there are things that I can just feel and see, right? But people that don't know you,
oh yeah,
you need to be able to. That is the disconnect with our society. We don't know how to articulate ourselves. We don't know how to express ourselves. We don't even want to challenge our wives, ideologies, belief, because we feel that we are wrong. And one thing that I know, I didn't do a whole lot of things right, but what I know I got right with you three girls is giving you guys the freedom to challenge not only me, but anybody in the system. I figure if you can challenge me, you can challenge anybody. You know, not because I'm so good, because I'm your father. I'm like somebody that you look up. Yeah.
There's like, when you're born, there's like, well, not when you're born, but like when you get a bit older, that level of respect is not towards your country or the system, it's towards your parents, depending on your like life story. Maybe not your parents, but like your guardians, the people that protect you. That's like the first respect you ever learn. Like, I respect you. And I'm saying that like to you right now, I respect you. Okay. So yeah, it's like that's your first respect. And once you could like not challenge that respect, but like
you feel comfortable talking and challenging me, because I'm telling you that I'm not always right. Yeah. And that forces me to get like, hey, let me.
I think that's like that upper level of respect. Like the first respect is, I respect you, I listen to you, you're always right. And then that upper level is like, you're not always right. And I respect you enough to tell you that, or like talk to you and converse with you. It's like that upper level.
Yeah. I like that. But man, as usual, great dialogue, great conversation. Unless you just want to dive into something else, you know, we can talk about the refrigerator and how it's connected. But in all seriousness, I look forward to having a good movie day, because you guys didn't want to go to the movies, and you know I respect that, you know, because I can rent movies on my TV.
Yeah,
right?
It's like going to the movies to see what.
Yeah, so we'll do that and order some food and just
keep baby.
It G.
Maybe I would order food because I know you're on a fruit vegetable diet, and I might join.
I'm not on a fruit vegetable diet. I just want to make it more 80% of that, and then there's gonna be a 20%. You know, so that I might, but I don't want to. I want to eat. You know, and I always ate really, really good. Just want to take it to another level.
I might join you because I've always been like, I'll eat, but like anything like heavy. I just like dairy. It's too like.
Well, we don't. That's why we don't drink dairy.
I don't anything dairy. Like even pizza, I take the cheese off, which makes people mad. Right. It's like, what's the point of eating pizza if you just don't take the cheese off?
Yeah.
Dairy, it just does something to my stomach. I'm not lactose intolerant. It's just it makes me feel greasy. It does nothing for me.
Well, that's the good thing about, and that's vibrating. That's also a sign of you understanding your body.
See, I'm not a 2. I'm a 3.
No, you're still a 2.
No, I'm a 3. I told you, I know my purpose.
All right. We'll say you're a 3.
No. Don't give me that look. I am the first iPhone. The minis.
Oh, you're the minis? That wasn't the first iPhone.
Well, not the minis, but like the iPods. The iPods. I'm an iPod.
Yeah, iPod. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, until the next time.
This is the Triple D's or
Daddy-Daughter Discussion.